Hi, I'm Ann Weiser Cornell, and this is a webinar called Support for Stressful Times. I'm at home. If you've ever seen another webinar with me, you know the background looks different here. I'm under stay-at-home orders in my region, San Francisco Bay Area, and I'm grateful. I feel safer that way. And this webinar is something that I really wanted to give to my community, all of you, as a way of sharing some of the things I know about what can help. And feel free to share in the chat things that you know about what can help. So we are a community. We've chosen to be here together. We're a chosen community. And I'm going to give you some connection tips. At the end of this call, I'm going to invite you to a network that some of you are in already. Wow, 150 people here already. Yeah, we are in challenging times right now. One of the things that feels both bad and good to me is that we're all in this together, and that's undeniable. All right, let's begin with my tips. And I did say, do feel free to share your own tips in the chat. So my body has been giving me very strong signals of fear, anxiety, and dread. And I'm guessing that that's true of many of you as well. And I have the tendency that something in me has a tendency to think if my body is scared, then something might be terribly wrong. And it's also a very unpleasant feeling for me. I don't like that feeling. So let's begin by saying that awareness is good. Then noticing how we are from moment to moment is better than not in most cases. And what I've been noticing over the past days is that if I stay in touch with how I am feeling in my body, it's not just scared all the time. Like right now, it's not. And I can even notice what specifically seems to trigger the scared feelings and what specifically seems to help them calm down. So if we're noticing, if we have a chance to be in touch, and it's usually in this inner area of the body, the throat, chest, stomach, belly. For me, it's often my stomach. It's like being present to ourselves. And of all the great things we can do for ourselves, being present is number one. And number two, to be present to ourselves with gentleness, with compassion. Gentleness, kindness, and compassion. So I notice, right, when something is in my body, I am noticing it, and I'm noticing it with kindness. Now, many of you are already familiar with these three little words that I love to recommend that help create an inner relationship with what we feel. And those three little words are the words, something in me. Something in me is feeling scared right now. Something in me has a sense of dread. Something in me is worried. Something in me is anxious. And do you want to just try that right now? So, pausing, feeling your body supported on what you're sitting on. If you're standing, your support comes through your feet. If you're lying down, you've got even more support, and just feel yourself resting on that support. And then let awareness come into the throat, chest, stomach, belly area. And notice if there's something there that's calling for your attention. I'm pausing because it might be there right away, but it also might take a little time. Yeah? Have you got something? And if it feels strong or unpleasant or uncomfortable, then the very first thing you might want to do is let a gentle hand move to that place in your body. Let a gentle hand go there. And with your hand, you're saying to the feeling, I am with you. I know you're there, and I'm with you. So this is important. The gentle hand is not trying to make it go away. You see, because if we try to make our feelings go away, then we're abandoning them. And we don't want to abandon anything about ourselves right now. So this is contact, company, and presence. When your gentle hand goes there, it's like you are saying to the feeling, I know you're there, and I am with you. I'm just going to pause and let that happen for you. I know you're there, and I am with you. Good. Okay, so there's something there, and you are with it, you are sensing it. And notice if you're able to sense it with compassion and gentleness. And if you're not, say hello to another something in you that's having a hard time doing that. Someone wrote in the chat, I'm having a hard time making connection because it's been a long while since I've done this. Yeah, and maybe you could acknowledge that. Maybe you could say, something in me is having a hard time making connection. So really, our process is about awareness of what is, including doubts, frustrations, difficulties. Everything that you're aware of becomes something you can include. I am sensing something in me having a hard time with this. Okay. So something is here. And the next step is to listen to it. Listen. Now this morning, I got up. I woke up with scared in my stomach. I had anxiety dreams. I won't tell you what they were, but I woke up with scared in my stomach. And this is what I did. I brought awareness to the feeling and I said, I am here with you. I sense you're scared. And then I took this next step. And that was, I invited it to let me know what it was scared about, what it was most scared about, what was sort of the essence or the heart, right? Because if I just say, what are you scared about? Well, we've got a long list. And if I ask in my head what it's scared about, I don't know what it is. So the important move here is not to assume that we already know, but to listen without a preconception. You know, it's a lot like, let's say you run into somebody and you say, how are you? But before they can answer, you're already answering for, oh, I know how you are. Okay. Well, that wouldn't be, it certainly wouldn't feel good to the other person. And it's not a very useful way to find out how another person is feeling. But we often treat our own feelings that way. We assume that they, well, if you're a focuser, you're already beyond this stage. But many people out there in the world assume they know what they're feeling. They already know. And if they don't know, they have to figure it out. I can't figure out what, you know. So we've got another way. And that is pausing, sensing, and then sensing from its point of view. So we're going to do that together in a minute. But I just want to say a little more about what happened when I did it. So this morning I woke up scared. I brought awareness to the scared feeling. I felt like I'd better do this. I don't want to feel this all day. I know that wasn't a very welcoming attitude. Hello to something in me that doesn't want to feel this all day, and hello to the scared feeling. But I brought awareness to it. It was in my stomach, and it had a quality of dread. That's another thing you can do, is really sense what it feels like. The quality of what it feels like. Because they're not always the same. So this one had a quality of dread. And I brought it this question, you can say, what's the worst of it? Or what are you most scared about? Or what's the essence? Or what's the nub? You know, what's the real core? But then to be very careful not to answer with your head. And that takes some discipline. Because when you ask the feeling, it doesn't answer right away, usually. It may not answer in words, usually. So how do we do that? Well, ask and wait. Keep awareness with the feeling itself. And let something come from there. And that it might come in words. It might come in images. It might come in a kind of, feels like an inner knowing. So what happened for me? I asked, what's the real thing you're most scared about? Like what brings this scared feeling the most right now? And what came was, things are very quiet out there. It's the feeling that something worse is coming. And I feel it again right now, that my body took a deep breath at that point. Okay, now that's amazing to me. And yet, if you're familiar with this process, you've had it happen over and over again. It's one of the miracles of inner listening, the focusing process. When you hear what is really bothering the place inside, it's so grateful to be heard that it relaxes a little, maybe even a lot. In fact, my stomach has not been scared now for 3 hours. And this is a very interesting point to me, because part of what it means is that our feelings are not solely caused by those outer events. We are not at the mercy of those outer events. They don't cause our feelings. They contribute to them. But by accompanying our own emotional states, and that includes beliefs, and we'll get to that a little later, but by accompanying our own emotional states and then hearing what bothers them. You know, imagine you've got a child who comes, crawls into your bed late at night, like, hey, I had a bad dream. And just to put your arms around that child and say, sweetie, tell me, Tell me what scares you. Maybe the child first just said, I'm scared. And after you said, tell me what scares you. You heard a bad dream, or you heard about the monsters in the closet. And it's not just the information about what's scaring the child, it's the relationship. It's the fact that you heard it and you said, oh, I hear you. Now, with a child, you might say there's no monsters in the closet, or I'll go look in the closet with you now. But with your inner experience, you don't have to say anything except, I really hear you. You don't have to say, don't worry, luckily, because we couldn't truthfully say that. So let's always be truthful with ourselves and our children. I hear you was all my body needed in order to release and relax. And the key there is that I am in a compassionate relationship, a listening relationship with it. Somebody wrote in the chat that the audio is hard to hear. Yeah, we'll have a recording. It has to do with your broadband. So let's go back. Do you still have contact with something that you found a little earlier? Do you want to ask again? So the step one is awareness. And I'm recommending, this is what works for me, a kind of awareness all day long. One can get better and better at keeping a kind of inner contact. How am I now? How am I now? It's very comforting. But it starts with awareness, starts with noticing, and maybe you're okay right now. Bless you. That would be great. But maybe your body is bringing a tightness somewhere, a tension somewhere. Let's just pause a moment to let you find that. And that you can put a gentle hand there where you feel it. And the hand is not going to go away. The hand is not trying to make it go away. The hand is saying, I am here with you now. And if the hand makes it harder to sense, then you can take your hand away again, because in the next step, we really want to sense what this place feels like. So in the next step, take some time to sense what bothers it the most. What's the essence? And we're going to leave another little space there because it doesn't come right away. We're not going to answer with our heads. We're going to answer from here. And don't worry, there'll be a way to check if you got the right answer. So let's pause a moment because you're just sensing. You can also say whatever it wants to show me is okay. Doesn't have to be the worst of it. Just whatever this feeling place wants to say or show or let me know. I'm here. I'm listening. Good. And if you need it longer, then I hope you'll keep asking, even while I'm talking. But for those for whom something came, let it know you hear it. It doesn't matter if it's something you already knew. It doesn't matter if it's something that isn't logical, right? We're not evaluating it at all. not judging it. Just let it know you hear it. I hear you. I hear you're scared of that. I hear that's what it is. And then see if your body gives you a breath or a feeling of some little release after you let it know you hear it. And that's how you can tell that you heard something that it really wanted you to know. It may be a little release and then tension again. It may be a little release, but then still some tension. Or it may be, wow, that feels a lot better. And so if there is still some tension, you can still keep listening. Okay, that much was right, it seems, and there's more. And there's more. So this listening with gentleness. Listening with gentleness. Tricia asked in the chat if there's a significance to my using my left hand. No, either hand is fine. Yeah. And Inika got from her body, I want to experience love. I do not want people to disconnect from each other. Let it know you hear it. Another thing you can say to this place inside you when it speaks to you, when it communicates with you, they don't always speak. When it communicates with you, you can say to it, no wonder. No wonder. So awareness, pausing, listening to it, letting it know you hear it, and saying, no wonder. Now we're going to be just talking briefly about beliefs and thoughts because they're very important to include. Then I'm going to talk to you about how we can connect, how you can connect with other people in this community, this focusing community. There's now over 200 people on this webinar. So stay till the end because I'm going to give you a link for a free community for talking about these things. So, yeah. Thank you, Sienna. And thank you, Vicki. I really appreciate that people are sharing what came. Beliefs, right? Thoughts. So I find it can be very scary to have a thought. And if I have a thought that scares me, then something in me believes the thought, like somehow that must be true if I thought it and then it scared me. And often those thoughts are about the future. They're right. And I don't want to say what my scary thoughts are because I don't want to put them in you, but I bet you've got some. And so they often have there will be or there won't be. They're often about the future. So one of the things that we often found helpful is to remember that nobody knows the future. And it's not necessary to be scared about that. There is a spacious possibility of not knowing what's going to happen. That might feel a little distant from where you are right now, but it is possible to not know because that's really the life condition of all of us. We've always not known the future. There's a part of us that doesn't like not knowing, and these thoughts about what's going to happen are usually, if they're scary thoughts, they're usually statements of what a part of us is scared will happen. So what I'm saying is, if you get a thought like that, rephrase it so that the words, a part of me is scared that, come in front of the sentence. A part of me is scared that, right? So the thought is, we're going to, or the world will, or, right? and put the words, a part of me is scared that, in front of the sentence. And then you can say, I'm saying hello to the part of me that's scared. So thoughts also are scared parts of us, scary thoughts. Not all thoughts, but scary thoughts. I don't really think those are quote unquote thoughts. I think those are parts of us expressing their fear in this dogmatic, this will happen kind of way. And we can add the words, I'm scared that. It is scared that. This part of me is scared that, in front of the sentence. And you can give that a try. Yeah, yeah. So my final tip is connect with others. Number 1, pause and sense. Number 2, be gentle and listen. And number 3, connect with others. Thank you. I see all your chats saying, bless you all. Yes, I too wish safety and wellness for all of you. Thank you. This has helped me, being able to talk to you today. We'll do it again soon. Bye-bye. Take care.